Hello everyone, so kind of sort of picking up where we last were, except I'm in a different area. I'm actually over here on the Isles of Umbra, so the way to get here is through Aleport in there. And as you can see, we also have a quest there, which I will pick up afterwards. But anyway, you can see I am by a magic pot. And smell talk. Give me an elixir, it says. So, give me an elixir, we choose. And here we have a couple of minions. And now I already got this one because at the time I had an elixir to give, and I've recently acquired a high elixir. So I am going to get the Wind-Up Moon. And these are, as I mentioned, minions. And as far as I know, this is the only location to get these. So here's a little secret hint thing for you. And if we look at the minions, so I currently have the buffalo calf visible, but I'm going to summon the sun. You can see it's a wind-up sun. And then I'm not entirely sure why I closed that, other than to show you, but I could have moved it. But anyway, and there's the wind-up moon, which is more or less the same thing as the sun, except it's white. But we are going to stick with our buffalo friend here for now. And so that's a little thing I wanted to show you, and now I'm going to teleport to Aleport and pick up that side quest. And I'm going to assume it's probably for Pharaoh Sirius hard version, because I recently did the Pharaoh Sirius one. And as you can see, I have a bunch of quests to turn in, and that's partly because of the dungeons that I've done. And I'm going to show those cutscenes that were kind of relevant to the storyline of those side quests after I pick up this quest. A Diamanda would hear tidings of your battle with the Siren. So it is true that you triumphed over the Siren? Words cannot express my gratitude. My only regret is that my dear brother could not be here today to hear that her father's death has been avenged. He set sail with his crew 3 years past, you see, and has yet to return to the shore. But I hold out hope that his ship shall come sailing into harbor one day now, and on that day I shall be the first to share with him the news of your triumph. In the meanwhile, however, we can finally press on with the restoration of Pharaoh Sirius. We must get to work at once. It might be much in your debt if you could inform Master Mimidoa that the coast is clear for us to begin. And Mimidoa is over here. And also when I was working on the quests, I was able to get the remaining Ironworks gear for the Paladin. So that's kind of what it looks like, and with the helm on, which I will show you in just a second, as you can see there. Not my favorite helms, but yeah. And then I also started getting the Ironworks gear for the ninja, so that's the chest piece there. But we're gonna stick with Samurai for now. And I can't remember if Samurai has its own gear or not. Well, not its own gear, but I think it's paired with 2 others. Anyway, you also notice we have a katana here, and that's part of its skills for level 52. A Kenkai Engage or something like that. You've done it! Sent the bloody siren screeching and shrieking to the murky depths of what she came? You've done us all a great service today, lass. If you wouldn't mind, regale old Mimidoa's ears with the tale of the foul wench's last song. What's that? You had to fend off a ghostly crew wearing the sea-sodden duds of Maelstrom men? 'Tis as I feared. The poor lass. Me heart goes out to her. 'Twas 3 years to the day, give or take a moon, a crew of the Maelstrom's finest set sail on a routine patrol, but ain't nothing routine in these parts, and they'd not return to shore. Rumors spread quick like that it was a siren song that led the vessel to a watery grave. Maelstrom Command jumped to quiet the talk. All titans were already too easy to come by in those days after the calamity. But those of us in the know, we knew. Like father, like son. Lass promised this old sod you'll spare poor Diamanda the truth. Lass has already suffered more than her share. Diamanda? This cannot be. My brother is still alive at sea. The search effort continues. Master Mimidoa, you yourself have told me the same. Forgive me, Missy. I never meant to deceive. The maelstrom made me swear a vow, you see, that I'd keep the truth buried deep in... Ah, bugger me, Val, and bugger me. Truth is, this scurvy coward just couldn't summon the nerve to tell you the truth, Diamande. Can you ever forgive a sorry old sod? There is no need for forgiveness, Master Mimidoe, for the true coward is me. In my heart I have always known. This adventurer's deeds and your words have finally given me the courage to face the truth. I am a woman grown. The time for clinging to childish dreams has passed. I must look to the future. My smithing skills are still wanting, but I will not falter from the task. Fair of Sirius will burn bright once more, a beacon of hope in the darkest of nights. The fell songs of the sea have claimed their last victim. I shall see to it with my own 2 hands. Strong words, lass. I trust you'll not forget him when your paws are all plebeian and blistery. My hands? Why, I'll clench my hammer with my teeth if need be. Father? Brother? Do you hear me? Your deaths will not be in vain. And, of course, that took a very depressing turn, so I guess that was just the closing of the quests. So ignore what I said beforehand. I am going to go to Madeline quickly, and I will go through the quests, each in turn that are relevant to this. So I'm going to start with, as it's listed on my list here, I'm going to start with the Tom Tara Hard, and apparently there is another quest over there for me, and I will pick that up. Oh wait, no, that's not a quest, that's my class quest for my samurai. I knew that. So oddly enough, I can do my samurai's level 52 quest, but I cannot do my level 52 quest for my paladin yet because I have not proceeded in the main scenario quest. Which probably makes sense, but at the same time it's kind of confusing to me. But anyway. So, into the inn, and speaking to the unending journey, and duty, instance duty, and Tom Tara Deepcroft, and warning, it's creepy. So if you recall, we heard that Peoreo received a wedding invitation for what's her face, and the to-be-wed is with her since deceased fiancé. So that was the first cutscene, and then there was this. And this is where it got very creepy. that would be the would-be fiance's head. And look, Javier, all these people have come to make you a gift of their souls. Isn't that kind of them? Even Celebrian is here. Now your dream of becoming like her can become true. And of course we end up fighting that. I don't know what you could call it. And after defeating... What have you done? Javier! No! And unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. One thing I liked with that cutscene was the gravity of which the sadness of her death and the whole situation there. And your character actually kind of acknowledges it. So I'm going to turn in the quest to Peoreo, and then I will go to the next one. And as I said, very creepy. And so I'm going to be working on leveling up my Conjurer next, and so I'm probably going to be doing all of these little side quests that are still out there as like their beginning quests, and do those with the Conjurer while I am leveling her up. And by her up, I meant the class up. Anyway, so Tomtar Deepcroft is down over here. And Peoreo is right here. We rescued him in the dungeon and he ran out. It's finally over. Would that it could have been different. But what choice did we have? Indeed. Let this be my last act as an adventurer. I've done quite enough harm as it is. I mean to go home and live out my days in... Huh? No, it can't be. Yeah! I'm sorry, please forgive me! Okay, he's probably going to be haunted for like forever. If this particular one came out at a Halloween, they did a good job of it because it was disturbing as heck. I only remember ever seeing that last cutscene, and I thought that was disturbing, but I never actually remembered the storyline that went along with it. Anyway, so the next one, I'll be teleporting back to Thandlin, and most of this will be edited out. I'll be doing the Stone Vigil part. And I decided instead of doing the Stone Vigil part, I would do the other quests, not the other quests, the other dungeons that kind of had a cutscene that don't really have a storyline, but still had a quest nonetheless. So, going to the duty, I'm going to start with Brave Flox's Long Stop Hard. for the second cutscene. Shh, Illuminati will not have cheese. And then upon defeating the stone, or, Sastasha Hard, where are you? This one. This one was interesting. Of course, there's that silly bird again. Stealthy intruders, squawk! I like this part. You have done well to make it this far, but you'll wish you hadn't. My trusty pet will something. Release the Kraken! And then upon defeating. And there was also Copperbell Mines Hard. So basically rescuing miners within this one. And the last bit. And just because I really like the music, I'm gonna play the Pharaoh Serious ones. And of course, the attire of the typical female bad guy. Hooray, victory! And so then to Hullbreaker Isle. And if you thought we were done with the Kraken, surprise! And then upon defeating it. It was daytime when I originally saw that cutscene. It was really very pretty. And just as pretty in the nighttime too. For different reasons, but obviously. And then we have the Stone Vigil, and that will be the last one that I played thus far. And this one, as it says, too long has the Stone Vigil been ravished by the Dranians and their thralls, too long has House Durandare suffered for this infamy. Time has come for its dragoons to retake the fortress, 1,000 laces and 1,000 dreams of vengeance strong. And so we're helping them to reclaim it. And upon defeating. And yes, there was two. It splits in half, and as a tank, you cannot aggro one of them, or both of them. It kind of picks and chooses whomever it hits. So if you lose aggro, it's not your fault. And so, without further ado, I shall teleport and speak with Drillamont. And speaking with Drillamont. Celebrity, I'm glad to see you safely return. By the grace of the Fury and the aid you have given us, we have taken back what is ours. Yet surely you saw that the Dranians left in their wake a ruin, a blood-crusted eye in need of much physicking before it can resume watch over the dragons. It will be long and hard work to rebuild the Stone Vigil. Long and hard. One battle ends, another begins. Our wars is a holy one, and there is no rest for the pious, except in the arms of Fury herself. Never shall be depleted the ranks of Ishgard glorious deeds. Never shall the prayers of the righteous be in vain. The dragons will perish, this I swear, by swords whole and broken. And we are now done that. And that's for the Moogle quest, that's for Hildebrand, and this is for the raid, but we will return to the horizon and find out if Tataru is right and that there is another primal. And I changed my mind. Since the other two classes are already at level 52, I might as well go with a ninja and work on that and get it to level 52. And I still haven't looked up Red Mage at all. So I'm not sure when I will ever use that one. I have a lot of practicing to do with it first. Manphilia. I knew this day would come, yet I prayed it would not come so soon. We have reason to believe that another primal, or an entity resembling one, has been summoned in Gridania. Thine arrival is customarily timely, Celebrian. The etheric waves leave little room for doubt. Thy talents will be needed ere long. If there be truth in my suspicions, 'tis a familiar foe we face, though one quite unlike the Lady of the Vortex. We dare not draw conclusions without evidence, but as Urianger says, the readings bear a strong resemblance to ones observed more than 5 years ago. Though I had hoped the Moogle guard beyond such follies. Suffice it to say, this disturbance warrants a full investigation. Thy presence hath been requested by Commander Julio. He awaiteth thee at the Adder's Nest. Pray hasten to Gridania, Celebrian. Ida and Papalama will rendezvous with you there. May you walk in the light of the crystal. And so I guess we are headed to the Adder's Nest in New Gridania. And there's a quest over here that I apparently forgot to pick up the last time, and if I'm not mistaken there was one over there as well that I never did pick up. But I will find out after I pick up this one. Lieutenant Scarlet would share with you most urgent tidings. Celebrian, your timing never fails to amaze. Unless I am mistaken, you have knowledge of the Elder Primal Odin, correct? As I thought, well, as you know, we have long pursued the dark divinity from the pages of arcane scripture to the shroud itself. Finally, we have a plan to put his prowling to an end. Brother O'Apessi has the command. He has personally requested your aid in this venture, and awaits you at Earth's Font. I am sure he will give you the details once you present yourself. Godspeed, Celebrian. But first we will speak with the Serpent Commander here. A pleasure to see you as always, Celebrian. Thank you for answering my summons. Quite frankly, I could think of no one more qualified to, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Allow me to explain. And here we have the option of a shield, the Rogue's Arm, or the Scholar's Book, and that's better than what I have, but I also kind of like the book, but actually, this is where I choose based on aesthetics. I do not like those as they're meat cleavers, so Scholar's Book it is. Versailles Hulot wishes to brief you on the latest crisis in Gridania. Not long ago, the Moogle Kuplo Koop visited the Adder's Nest to request an audience with the Eld Seedseer. He spoke of an imminent threat to all Mooglekind, one which would imperil the entire Twelveswood if left unchecked. You proved an able ambassador to the Sylphs. We would have you reprise the role in our dealings with the Moogles. The rest you should hear from Kuplo Koop himself. He awaits you with the Elder Seedseer at the Lotus Stand. And conveniently, we also have to head in that direction anyway, for the quest that I believe I didn't pick up. And that's over on this side. Over by the Conjurer's Guild. And as I'm correct, I had not picked it up. So I'm gonna go and pick up that quest, because that's over in here by the Conjurer's location. And and I also have to come back here later, anyway. Isumayan. Brother Isumayan would have a word on behalf of a most illustrious client. It is well that you are here, Celebrian. Some burdens are too heavy to bear, even for those so favored to abide. Know that you were chosen to as much for your true heart as your skill. I speak to you in the name of the 3 Seedseers. The eldest, Kane Senna, you will already know as the guardian of our fair land. 2 siblings has she. It is the younger of this pair, Arun Senna, who hears the voice of the elementals with greatest clarity, and what he has heard lately is troubling indeed. These dark stirrings have traced the lost city of Amtapur in the South Shroud. The city once throve in the fullness of magic during the 5th astral era, but it was sealed in the wake of its demise. Alas, the Twelveswood has been out of balance since the calamity. So riotous has its aspect become that the seal was severely weakened. When this happened, the forests surrounding the city began to wither and die. We would enjoin you to investigate the cause. Now I must confess that this is a task for the Twin Aider. Normally, but we do not live in normal times, Celebrian. The company is spread thin, and you are stout with success. Will you not assist? Of course I will. It is well that you assent, for the need is great. Go now to Seedseer Rhea Osena at Camp Tranquil, and listen well to what she says of her brother's divination. And obviously we will do that later. But for now, we shall speak with the Eld Seedseer. Silent Conjurer. The other signs have already arrived, madame. May I show you in? Yep. And rather than going right directly to cutscene, we get to actually move our way around in here. And I'm just gonna zoom out a little and just kind of show off how pretty it is in here. So here's Papalamo, Yida, the guard, Eld Seedseer, the Moogle. Apparently some sort of table. But yeah, it's really pretty in here. Anyhow. Yida. It must be something bad to have It must be something bad to have gotten Coop this worried. Have you seen the way his thin gummy is bobbing? Papalamo. A threat to Moogle kind. Humph. I had hoped the antecedent suspicions were ill-founded, but I cannot see who else it could be. Radio Senna. Our guest has brought ill tidings which must needs be heeded. Isn't that right, Coop? Coop. Oh, I don't know about this. I don't know about this at all. But I suppose O's right. They've left us no choice, Kupo. And Kenna Senna. Connie Senna. Please, you have to stop them, but you mustn't kill them. They're not bad Moogles, Kupo. They're just misguided. A gentle, no, firm thrashing is in order. Yes, but no... Calm yourself, Coop. Can you not see that she hasn't the faintest idea what you're talking about? Be quiet this instant. Pray forgive this witless outburst, sister. Most grateful I am that you have come, Celebrian, and upon such short notice... Photobomb. Notice, truly Gridania could not wish for a more stalwart ally. But you are doubtless eager to know wherefore we summoned you. Our friend Coop has brought us to news of a most unsettling development. It would seem that the good King Moogle Mox the 12th has returned to Eorzea. A curious thing to hear, I know. Truth to tell, I myself cannot say for sure if he is a genuine figure from history or some manifestation of Moogle mythology. Kuplo here would have me believe the former. Once upon a time, we Moogles served the gods in the heaven. It was quite nice up there, unspeakably beautiful, unimaginably spacious, and with a literally endless supply of wine, Kupo. In spite of this, or possibly because of the last part, the gods eventually became discontented and started squabbling, which made life jolly difficult for the poor Moogles. So good King Moogle Mog the 12th, may his glorious name live forever, decreed that the time he had come to leave Kupo. The realm of man would suffice, he said, so all the Moogles should live there instead. Unfortunately, the two realms are so far apart that we couldn't safely fly down. But good King Moogle Mox the 12th, may his miraculous foresight ever be praised, knew exactly what to do, Kupo. He had a rope, you see, the longest one ever wove. This he nobly held while his subjects climbed all the way down, to the earth, to the world below. And that is how we Moogles came to the sun, Kupo. All of us except good King Moogle Mox the 12th, may his courageous sacrifice never be forgotten. He alone would remain in heaven so that Mooglekind might at last know peace. Except that he has not remained in the heavens from what I understand. That being your reason for contacting us, yes? I'll bet he tied the rope to something. Good thinking. Remind me again what the problem was when he's with him returning to Eorzea? The problem, Yida, lies in the fact that he was summoned. It is our belief that good King Moogle Mox the 12th is a myth made manifest by a means akin to those employed by the beast tribes in the summoning of their gods. Wait, you're saying a handful of Moogles with a boatload of crystals wished really, really hard and he just sort of appeared? Would that even work? What I cannot fathom is why they would even try. With Gerudo humbled and the Ultima weapon destroyed, what new threat could have prompted them to take so drastic a measure? Might that not in itself be the answer? Twice in the last half-decade, Eorzea has been brought into the very brink of destruction, only to be spared at the last by the heroics of a chosen few. To you who braved those tempests and survived by the virtue of your own strength, this latest period of peace will doubtless seem a welcome respite. But to those who had not the power to defend themselves, who were spared only by another's grace, this is merely the calm before the storm. I think the Moogles Guard are afraid of what some more will bring, and that things may not end so well as they did yesterday. The fear has driven them to call upon a greater power, one they believe can be relied upon to protect their loved ones and their homes come what may. I assure you the Moogles Guard only want to protect the forest from outsiders, but ever since the return of good King Moogle Mox the 12th, may his boundless grace fill our hearts with love, they've started to get a little carried away, Kupo. Verging on a lot, in fact. Like the sylphs who summon Ramu, you mean? We cannot discount the possibility that this entity is influencing the Moogles in a manner similar to that of a primal. We share that same concern. Whoever or whatever the king may be, it is our belief that he poses a threat, not only to Mooglekind but to Gridania as a whole. Thus do we beseech you, Celebrian, confront good King Moogle Mox the 12th and drive him from our midst. Humbly I do thank you. The sanctuary of the Moogles Guard and their liege lord is concealed by magic wards. Brother E. Sumayan of the Conjurers Guild will doubtless be able to offer insight on how they might be dispelled. Pray seek his counsel ere you proceed any further. The dance of the Moogle. Goop-lo goop. Remember, no killing, Kupo. A sound thrashing will be more than suffice. Oh dear, oh dear. Isa, if you are to confront good King Moogle Mox the 12th, you must needs find a way to defeat his magical defenses. Upon such matters, Brother Isa Mayan is something of an authority. Pray consult him without delay. Mayo O Senna. My sister is right, Celebrian. For the Moogles' sake and your own, banish the king from the Twelves Wood. And with that, we will head over to the Conjurers Guild, which is also literally right there, as we just saw not even a few minutes ago. Or maybe a few minutes ago. I wasn't paying attention to how long that cutscene was. Anyhow. Isumayan. Welcome, Celebrian. Welcome. That you might be the one to face good King Moogle Mox XII is of great comfort to me and to the elementals both. As I am sure you know, the Moogles are not by their nature a warlike race. Yet should the king be suffered to remain, it is like that his influence will bring about a change in them. Thus does it behoove us to defeat him quickly, before any lasting damage is done. Make whatever preparations you deem necessary and inform me when you are ready to seek the king. And we have the options of blah blah blah, X potion. Isumayan. Other Isumayan would unfold to you the secrets of good King Moogle Mox XII's magical defenses. The wards barring access to the king's sanctuary can only be nullified through the use of enchanted keystones, the self-same method employed 5 years ago. When the king was summoned to Eorzea, it was with great regret that we were forced to sanction the slaying of the guardians who then held the keystones, for none were in the possession at the time. By the grace of the elementals, however, we have been spared that burden on this occasion. Koop confided in me that he had been entrusted with a set of keystones by the Moogles Guard themselves. Yet wishing not to betray their confidence, he begged me to find some other means to gain entry to the king's sanctum. Alas, I have been unable to do so, and dare not labor any longer, for I fear that the Moogles might succumb to the corrupting influence of their liege lord. We must needs have Koop's keystone, Celebrian. Pray go to him and beg his assistance. He awaits you at Whiteshire Port. Impress upon him our great need, and I am certain he will yield. And so we need to head over there, and so I need to teleport to the Lancers Guild. If I hit the right buttons here. Koop. So, how will you do it, Koopo? Oh, he told you about that. Well, if there is truly no other way, I'll do it, Koopo. Take the ferry to Sweet Bloom Pier. I'll go on ahead. And ferry skip. Sweet Bloom Pier. I happen to be heading across Sweet Bloom Pier. Blah blah blah. Yes. And we need to speak with... curiously, there's really big Moogles there. Don't you dare lie to me, Koopo! I know what you're planning, and I won't allow it! Open your eyes, Koopo! The king will never be satisfied, no matter how many crystals you bring him. We offered you a choice, and this is how you repay us? By consorting with a Sieur? Imperials, Gridanians, Sylphs, you're no different from the rest of them. Actually, you're worse, Koopo. Traitor to his kinsmoogles, he plots treason against the crown. Enough! Koop will answer for his crimes soon enough, as will all who defy the will of good King Moogle Mox XII. May he reign forevermore, Koopo. The king is planning to purge the 12 sword of his enemies, Koopo. We've got to stop him before it's too late. Koop. The entrance to the Thorn March is deep within the bramble patch, Koopo. If you take me there, I can nullify the word. But be warned, the Moogles Guard has set traps to lure enchanted beasts. I can't hide from them, so you'll need to protect me, Koopo. And escort Koop safely to the ward entrance. Should you fail to defend him or move too far away, he will return to Sweet Bloom Pier, where you may rendezvous with him before trying again. And truth be told, that took me a while to actually do this because I failed more than once. And if I'm not mistaken, he automatically follows you? Oh, yes. It's like, did he move? There we go. So we need to head over that way. So the fastest path is to go through here, and there will be bad guys spawned throughout the path. As I said. So you just gotta make sure, much like the leave quests, to protect him. And best to have him turned away from him. Sorry. Trying to think of what I was trying to say there, and yeah. Anyway, so I'm not entirely sure why, but I had a lot of difficulty with this before. And as you can see, there's a whole host of things here. Basically, you gotta make sure that he doesn't die. So if you're healer class, I think you can heal him, but I could be mistaken. And otherwise, if his health does get low, just stand still for a bit and his health will regenerate. And I do recommend doing that. Otherwise... Otherwise, you might find that he ends up dying. Then you have to start the process all over again. Don't let them hurt me, Kupo! And there should be another one here. Or I guess another two. And as you could see, someone else is working on this as well. Don't let them hurt me, Kupo. We'll wait for his health to regenerate. And we are almost there. And I never moved too far ahead in case there's more bad guys that spawn. And also for him to catch up to you. And as you can see, we're gonna have some bad guys over here. But we'll wait till this guy's done. There we go. And we are almost there. We're here, Kupo. I don't see any more beasts, do you? Kuplo Coop. Are you ready to face the king, Kupo? Then step closer to the ward. Raise your hand and focus, like when you attune to an aetheryte, Kupo. I'll open the way for you. And, oops, clicking on the, there we go, barrier threshold. The rest is up to you, Kupo. Now go and teach those foolish Moogles a lesson, and send the king back whence he came. And so now we have Thornmarch Hard accessible. And wasn't that there was a regular version, that was literally the first one. And speaking with Hildebrand. There is not out of the ordinary here either. No luck, huh? As we see the Enkidu. Or Enkidu. Anyway, we have scoured every elm of this area to no avail. I can only conclude that having learned that his opponent was to be the legendary Inspector Hildebrand, the duelist renounced his criminal ways and retreated into hiding. Or perhaps he is waiting patiently outside the walls for more vagans to leave. That being said, should you decide to venture into the wilderness, you had best arm yourself with more than your wits. I appreciate your concern, Miss Ellie, but a gentleman should abstain from violence unless absolutely necessary. I'll fight for you, Inspector. I even found a weapon to use. By the 12, is that the selfsame spear which propelled me to the Red Moon? Wherever did you find it? It was buried in the snow. Well, one cannot ignore the will of destiny. Return it to me, Nashu. And there goes Enkidu again. Though I still endeavor to avoid fisticuffs, I will be duly armed should worse come to worst. Now then, we begin our search for the duelist to the east of the observatorium. Ellie, come now, how hard can it be to find a large man dressed in red in Coorthus? Not too hard, but, well, anyway. Nashu. Cor, it's cold out here. Take your post, my good woman, and entrust your safety to me. Inspector Hildebrand is ready for battle. I'm not gonna trust you in battle, sir. Wherefore art thou, my nefarious nemesis? 'Twas not the selfsame creature, but one of many. Nevertheless, I know that my weapon is close by. You sense it too, don't you? I like how the Cuba was yawning in the background there. Greg, I've been meaning to ask, why do you covet this weapon so? If you but beheld it, you would understand in some ways it bore resemblance to a spear, but in other respects it was quite different. It was crowned with a magnificent axe blade, to which was wielded a musket barrel. 'Twas one of the first weapons I added to my collection after arriving in these lands. Ah, how I yearned to reclaim it, the strongest of spears. The weapon of yours bears a striking resemblance to to the strongest of spears. I claimed this weapon 5 years ago. Surely you can't be serious. Grr, now you call me Shirley? No matter, give it to me. Give it to me. This spear and I have traveled together to the very heavens. I will not relinquish it again. This spear and I have bested many a man together. I will not relinquish it again. Then we were at an impasse. I can't believe I'm saying this, but well done, Inspector. Thanks to you, we've caught the weapon thief in the act. Miss Ellie, you are grossly misreading our dispute. Greg is a good, honest man who I am certain has never stolen a weapon in his life. Indeed, I have not. Every weapon I have claimed was by rights mine. Each was a trophy for besting my opponent in single combat. I believe that constitutes a confession. Seize him! A confession to what? I've done not wrong. Pah, you're all beyond reason. Ah, yes, my plan to secure Greg's confession was utterly flawless, and his capture will be the coup de grace. Or coup de grace. Whatever. Well, my plan is less far flawless. Griffin Crossing is still impassable. I know who you are, even if that imbecile doesn't, so let's not mince words. Only you have the skill to face the duelist in battle. Even so, your strength alone will likely not suffice. I suggest you muster what allies you can. Ellie. His name isn't really Greg, is it? Nope. Lest you find my advice unsporting, I remind you that our duty supersedes any misbegotten notions of honor you may possess. And now Which way did he go, Slytherin? Did you see? Yes, sir. He went this way. And apparently Hildebrand was bested. Hildebrand. Ashu? Miss Ellie? Ah, my good woman, it is a relief to hear your footfalls. As you have doubtless deduced, I was unable to prevent Greg from escaping through the doors. I must leave the rest to you. Yes, it was I behind these doors the whole time. You took so long to arrive, I was getting worried you might have gotten lost. Long did I wonder what your role in this play was. A silent guardian, content to watch events unfold with minimal interaction? At the last, I understand. We were fated to duel, you and I. Best me, and you may have the spear. Fail and the weapons are forfeit. Fairer terms, do you not think? I will even extend them to your allies. Aye, I grant you leave to summon others. After all, it will avail you no advantage. For Gilgamesh, it is in beginning time. And obviously we have battle on the big bridge. But I will get to that some other time. Do not worry about me, friend. I shall extract myself in due time. So, what other quests do we have? We have this one. I knew there was another one. So I need to speak with Mistbeard in Limsa, so that's in relation to the hull breaker, yes, the hull breaker. And I also obviously still have Blue Mage to pick up. And then I'm gonna go speak to some of the other quests, and I'm mostly delaying on doing these because I need to coordinate with 7 other people to do those because they're both trials, and I don't think I have enough people at the current moment in my free company that are online, so, and available, and free, so that will probably wait. Oops, I did it again. Past where I needed to go. I need to go over here. And I must needs speak with Dunstan. Good to see you back in one piece, and with Mistbeard's coffer no less. Let's have a look at it then. Mistbeard's coffer. A complex lock prevents any and all from uncovering the secret of the legendary pirate King Mistbeard's treasure. The lock's still intact, and there's no sign. The lock's still intact, and there's no sign it's been tampered with. You did good, Venturer. The chief will be right pleased. And indeed he is. I knew that you wouldn't disappoint me, my friend. You have my gratitude. Now you're curious as to the contents, I do not doubt. Having risked life and limb to retrieve the coffer, you've more than earned the right to that knowledge. The coffer holds the secret to Mistbeard's identity. Menacing, is it not? This mask, my friend, has been worn by all the individuals who have borne the name Mistbeard. I, Mistbeard, was not one man, but many. For generations, both name and mask have been inherited by those deemed worthy, and so the legend continued. But now that legend will come to an end, for the last Mistbeard has found a new purpose in life, one woman in her dream of a brighter future for Limsa. As you know, ours is a nation founded by pirates. It is in the Limsan's blood to desire to be his own master, to reject authority and take what he wants. Some among us believe that piracy is a time-honored tradition, but so long as we cling to this tradition, we will never know lasting prosperity. These were the woman's words, and Mistbeard saw wisdom in them. He swore to do all in his power to make her dream reality. In the future, she envisioned there is no place for pirate kings but in the tales of fishwives, and so Mistbeard has chosen to consign himself and his predecessors to the pages of history. This mask symbolizes an obsolete way of life, yet it is not without power. Should it fall into the wrong hands, another misbeard will rise. Hot-blooded Limsons will gather to his dread banner, and piracy will continue. The mask will never see the light of day again. On this day, the Pirate King Misbeard draws his last breath. Dunstan, I trust you know what to do. Aye aye, Chief. Given a bit of time, the rumors of treasures will fade, just like the mist clearing. And that's that for that. And we'll speak with Apessy. So I need to head down over there and over there. But first we'll go to Earth's Font. And speaking with Apessy. Adventurer, thank you for coming. We seek the dark divinity, and you must be made privy to the plan before the game is afoot. As you know, Odin hunts in the forest, or Odin hunts in this forest. We would banish him from the shroud, yet in actual fact he has fallen before countless adventurers already. By all rights, the primal should plague us no more. Yet though again and again he is vanquished, he rises always to charge through the Twelveswood. His constant reappearance is perplexing to say the least, and raises two questions. Who summons him, and how does he change his visage upon manifesting? Odin is alone amongst the primals in these aspects. Indeed, I can find not a single sentence in the scriptures that sheds light in his devilish abilities. There is no answer in words writ of the pen. No, now the sword must serve. Our plan is to send a band of adventurers against the dark divinity. Brother Isumayan, my master, and I will observe the battle from afar. We believe seeing the moment of Odin's defeat may give us a clue, one that will lead to uncovering the truth of the primal that has escaped us thus far. Naturally, this hinges upon the company's victory, but victory. No one but a warrior of light could hope to survive the battle. Hence, I have asked you here. Indeed, without you, our adventure is doomed to failure, so I implore you, lend us your strength. If you acquiesce, I shall invoke the power of the elementals and draw the dark divinity to this spring. And thus we have access to Earth's Font. And next I shall teleport down here to Camp Tranquil and speak with Rhea Osena. May have actually seen her before when I hopped over here a while back. Kupcha Kupa. I have served Rayo since she was a little girl, no bigger than me, Kupo. She has matured since the calamity. Her brother Aerun, on the other hand... Pickney Pock. When she was a child, Rayo had quite a temper. She's a sweet little girl now, but Moogle does not easily forget. Even now, the sound of her voice makes my fur stand on end, Kupo. Ah, hear about the cursed pile of rocks they call the lost city of Amtapor, I assume. I am Rayo Osena, sister to the Outseer. Brother Yasumayan hasn't told you much, has he? Discretion is the better part of his valor. While aside from Amtapor Keep, the city is all that remains of an advanced magical civilization from the 5th Astral Era. No records survive of how the city met its end, but the elementals tell us all was undone by what the Great One calls an unclean presence. I fear that what my brother senses is this very thing. Its satedness drained away after so many centuries, if it hungers for another city to slake its thirst on. I'll take it from here, sister. There you are, brother. Why must you dawdle so and leave the tedious explanations to me? Now convey all you've felt to this artful adventurer. My sister paints me as a bumbling rustic, but I assure you I'm nothing of the sort. I'm simply attuned to something greater, which brings us to that darkness stirring in Amdapur behind the barrier. Something has kindled there, and daily it grows, and how distrait the elementals are. I've not seen the like of it. They show me what feels like awakening and nightmares. I fear this calls for a more prosaic sensing than that of my rare gift. Some disaster slouches towards us. Might you discover the source of these dark visions and nip it in the bud? You are our best hope, Celebrian. Surely you can find the will to journey to Amdapur. You shall find a wood whaler by the name of Elfine keeping vigil at the barrier. And don't worry about returning here to tell us of your findings. The elementals will doubtless keep us appraised. But enough talk. Good luck, Celebrian. And so much like Andapur Keep, for Andapur Keep, like the other dungeons, I won't do that. I won't record it, but I will record any of the cutscenes and stuff. So I will go over to the location, which is just south here, and speak with Elfine, yes. And then I will do that dungeon by myself. As for Hildebrand and the Moogle quest, which is obviously part of the main scenario quest, I will in fact record those. But first things first. Elfine. The Seedseers have sent word of your coming. You are bold indeed to willingly glimpse into the darkness. The lost city festers more and more by the day, and they say you're to lance the boil, eh? Beyond this gate lies a land out of balance, its earth aspect sapped by the calamity. You had best be prepared before proceeding further. Rotten wrong, that's what you'll see. Creatures run mad, tormented by hooked burrs that clutch and burrow. Ahem. Well, good luck with that. No doubt you'll prevail, being favored of the Seedseers and all. Fight well. So, and I also have this to do, and Sunken Temple of Corn I have not yet done. I guess I need to do this. I did do that dungeon, so I apparently missed it. The problem with having so many side quests, you can't keep track of what you've done and what you've not done, unless you read the description, or you have them listed here, but if you have too many of these, then you just get lost in transit. So, obviously I need to report to whomever it was. And they are just in here. Deverja. Ah, you've returned. Tell me, were you able to identify our intruders? Men who looked like jellyfish, and you say they were Captain Madison and his crew? This is decidedly odd, but I know better than to doubt you. I will have the bodies retrieved for study, that we might be better prepared to face such enemies in the future. Your work here is done, friend. Pray make your way to Ilport. Commodore Raynor awaits news there, and will doubtless be glad of a first-hand account. And that's just over there. Raynor. I have already received word of your success. You do not disappoint, Celebrian. Sir! A body has arrived for inspection! This thing used to be a man? Gods be good, how did this happen? A sight to turn the stomach, 'tis well I have eaten. My lady, thank you for granting us your valuable time and expertise. Commodore, allow me to introduce Miss Sienna, foremost among the celebrated Professor Lambertain's students. Let us not stand on ceremony, friends. This man's unnatural form can be attributed, I believe, to the excess absorption of water aspected aether. A living being can only absorb a certain quantity of aether before suffering adverse effects. To be altered so drastically requires a fatal dose, yet our subject here lived long enough to be struck down. A most peculiar case indeed. I have heard that a primal creates thralls by showering mortals with its own aether. Could this be an extension of that process? I dare say you have struck the mark, Commodore. If being exposed once to a primal's aether is enough to corrupt the mind, 'tis plausible that repeated exposure corrupts the flesh. Madison and his crew had failed to hold stature for their Sahagin overlords. I suspect that this was their punishment. The fishback's depravity knows no bounds. To think the creatures capable of such cruelty lurk nearby? I shan't get another wink of sleep while I am here. Have no fear, my lady. My yellow jackets are sworn to protect Aleport and her denizens, and in light of recent developments, you may be certain that we will redouble our vigilance. Your words give me heart, Commodore, and as previously agreed upon, by way of payment for my services, I shall hold on to this specimen for more research. Or for more research, I don't know. I actually forgot that the etheric contribution to the distortion of the flesh thing there. But anyway. Alrighty, so that is the Moogle quest, or not the Moogle, Moogle Postmaster. And so this is the Earth's Font, and I'm just going to hide that for now. This is Thorn March. That's that side quest, which I will get to eventually. That's Battle on the Bridge, Temple of Corn, Ultimate Ballad. And so we have this. And I guess we'll do that, and then I shall see where that leads. And I can at least work on getting it to the raid process itself. And yeah. There's also another quest here which I just forgot about and just obviously remembered because I see it here. Blue seems to have eyes only for you. Well, that's kind of creepy. Good day to you, my wayfaring friend. Say, you wouldn't happen to be the woman who slew the Tonberry King, would you? Yep. I knew it, by the onion. I've had a fine gent for you. Looking for you, that is. He has an appetizing proposal on the table, and I think you should pay him a visit. He is one of the treasure hunters at Camp Ron's Lake. Oh, and he will, of course, be there with his partner. The two are inseparable, but I'll let them tell you more themselves. Well, off to Lenosa with you. I believe that's with the Wandering Palace, and I have not shown you that. My bad. I truthfully cannot remember. So that would be the Wanderer's Palace, so if you find it somewhere on the internet. Hey, Blue's an sent your way, you say? Well, I'll be thrice darned, it's you. Hey, the Eric lady that lopped off the Tonberry's head, King's head. Do you remember us? We was the pair round the court entrance to the Wanderer's Palace. Saw you there, saw you right for that great bleed and Tonberry stabbed us. There wasn't we stabbed, love. What? Indeed we were. 'Twas most unpleasant. Now, Adventurer, you are here to do something we would prefer not to do ourselves. Venture into the Wanderer's Palace again. But I don't wanna. Best we start at the beginning, eh? Like I was saying, we was hacking away at the little Tonberries when the big one snuck up behind us. Well, we tried to fight it off, but it got the best of us. Never been in worse shape, just lying there bleeding. Oh, so I thought we weren't long for the realm, but just as I was thinking of my last words, lo and behold, the Tonberries we'd been having it out with started treating us. Nursed us right back to health, they did. That's when we learned the truth about the Tonbies. See, they was only menacing folk 'cause of a curse that you lifted when you slew the Tonberry King. At art, that lot'll come in twice as kindly again. Why, it was right pleasure having them take care of us for a fair spell. It's a pity those peaceful days didn't last. A band of Moogle which call themselves the Silverscales come storming into the palace. They say they're mercenaries, but they're nothing but the scum of Bleeding Realm. The howling of the blood and so many dead. As if that weren't enough, the surviving Tonberries were locked away deep in the ruins. Why in the name of the 12 did they deserve such a fate, I ask you? We had grown rather fond of the Tonberries while living amongst them. They have good hearts, no matter how odd their appearance. None of that should matter anyway. This fellow is Tyrion and I'm a Kote. Are we lesser a couple for our difference? I should think not. My heart goes out to the Tonberries, truly, to be so betrayed, so ill-treated and locked away in some horrid dungeon, but by one's own people, no less. My dearest, now they're playing all too well. We believe both had to leave our birthplace. Why, you ask? Simply because we were different. No, we will not sit idly by and let the Tonberries be subjected to such terrible treatment. Well said, but much as we'd like to give the Silver Scales the boot ourselves, we can't stand up to a cartload of Moogle. So please say you'll do it in our place. The Wanderer's Palace is the only the Toonberries have got. Now you'll have to speak with Abzarzi and get a ride in his boat across the lake. What is now? Bon Voyage? Nope, it's Bon Voyage. I never actually realized he said it so stupidly. So we will speak to that individual first. And then I will do the Wanderer's Palace. On the side, as before. Buzzy Charazi. Come on that treasure hunter's errand, have ya? Well, I'll take you across the lake, but be warned, the palace you're making for is held by the Silver Scales, and their leader's the most fearsome of the lot. Now, the Tonberries aren't friends of mine, but even I think the way the Moogle have imprisoned is wrong. Capturing them, turning them into thralls, go and give these sellswords hell. And thus the Wanderer's Palace, hard, now accessible. And I will hide that just for now, and I will go back to Mordona and do that quest that I said I was going to do. And then if I have time, depending on what this leads us to, I may or may not work on the post-Moogle quest stuff. Or I will save that for the next video. And then I will probably have the, at least the Moogle Thorn March and the Gilgamesh one recorded as well. So that will be in the next video as well. All things considered. And hopeful. And helpful. As I said, I need to coordinate with 7 other people. Hopefully they'll be able to help me with both of those, but we shall see. Can't do it today because there is maintenance later today. Ambrose. Slabrian, it is good to see you. Tell me, were you able to obtain the remaining crystals from the Beastmen? Flawless Fire Crystal. This unembellished fire crystal is the main component used in the ritual the Ambalja performed to summon Ifrit, and Flawless Wind Crystal, same story except for the Ixal and Garuda. Wonderful! With all 4 crystals in hand, we are now ready to proceed to the next stage of our preparations. I hope I did not give the impression that we would be embarking on our journey to the Crystal Tower just yet. Alas, there is another step which must be completed ere we come to that. While the crystals you acquire are indeed flawless, they are of little use to us in their present form. If they are to reflect the elemental forces of the tower's defenses, they must needs be cut and polished. A process which calls for a very particular set of materials. Procuring them will be a challenge in itself, I fear. Needless to say, we will be requiring your services once again. And we get grade 5 dark materia. Material. Whatever. Something I don't ever use. Ambrose. Ambrose wishes to proceed with the shaping of the flawless crystals. If the flawless crystals you procured for us are retained their elemental purity during the shaping process, a very specific set of abrasive substances will be required. Well, I say substances, but one might just as well call them one substance, namely aether sand, which has 4 elementally aspected varieties. Alas, aether sand is neither common nor cheap. Indeed, it is not unusual for the abrasive to exceed the value of the precious stones it is used to polish. Given the rarity of the materials in question, the Goldsmiths Guild in Ul'dah seemed the likeliest place to purchase the quantity we require. When I contacted the guildmaster, however, I was informed that no either sand was currently available. Though I requested that word be sent as soon as new stock came in, I have yet to receive aught but apologies. I should mention at this point that I placed the order some time before you procured the flawless crystals. I am well aware that acquiring aether sand is no small feat, of course, and I am not an impatient man, but I fear the more we delay our investigation, the greater risk that the tower's secrets may fall into the hands of other, less savory parties. This is why I wish to entrust you with the payment for our purchase and sent you to speak directly with Guildmaster Serendipity. Mayhap the presence of such a distinguished personage will spur the guild into action. In any event, it is my hope that when next we meet, you will have found at least one of the 4 varieties of aether sand we require. And so I guess we're headed to Thanalan, and in particular, Ul'dah. And so we will go speak with Serendipity. Serendipity. Ah, Mr. Saragon, welcome, welcome. What brings you here, if I may ask? Bulging guild pouch. This hefty sack of gil has been promised to the Goldsmiths Guild in exchange for any available aether sand. Or aether sand. You're here on behalf of the Sons of St. Koinek. What fortunate timing! I was just about to contact Master Rombros with the news that we've finally managed to acquire a quantity of fire-aspected aether sand. I'm afraid it may be some time before we can supply the other 3 varieties, but you are welcome to settle accounts for that which we have now. Pray speak with the Jim over the... Oh, I do beg your pardon. It seems she's assisting another customer. Come on, there must be something you can do. Without the sand, we'll have to rethink our whole design. I sympathize with your plight, sir, but as I explained, the aether sand in question is already spoken for. If you'd like to reserve the next shipment, then I would be happy to accept the funds you've offered as partial payment. Partial? Are you saying it's not enough? I'm already stretched out our research budget as it is. I suppose a man can do without a midday meal for a year or 2. Celebrian, it's been too long. What brings you here then? Got your eye on something expensive, have you? Yeah, the same thing you're looking for. Well, now, this is quite a money pouch. The sound of so many gil clinking together is strangely satisfying, is it not? Calmly and yet invigorating at the same time. Oh no, you're here for the blooming aether sand, aren't you? Sorry. Well, I can't deny the elegant civilization's a subject worth researching. The chief said he was looking to something big, but we never thought to ask him what. Wedge and I have been busy tinkering with a new airship design to think of much else, see? Well, I say tinkering. Wrestling would be more like it. Still, after much wringing of hands and gnashing of teeth, we've managed to put together a prototype, crystal-powered propulsion system. We got the idea for it when we heard how you lot had used a corrupted crystal on board the Enterprise. As a matter of fact, anyway, to cut a long story short, our design calls for all 4 varieties of aether sand. And that's why I can't just relinquish my claim on this batch here, even for you, lass. How are we meant to usher in a brave new age of technological innovation, if not by technologically innovating, eh? Ahem, while I hesitate to interrupt such an impassioned speech, duty compels me to point out this lady is representative of the organization that reserved the aether sand in question, to mention nothing of the fact that her purse is considerably larger than yours. Oh, it's like that, is it? Alright, this batch is yours, so I'll let you have it, but if you're going to take my sand, it's only fair that you grant me a role in this project of yours. If I take that as a yes, I'll take that as a yes. It's not every day you get a chance to experiment with the wonders of the ancients. With any luck, they'll inspire me to think of another technological innovation or 2. Deliver payment from the Intercent Serendipity to the Goldsmiths Guild is now complete. Hello, Biggs. Now then, from what you've told me, I'm guessing you'll be needing the other 3 varieties of elemental aspected Aether Sand as well, right? Then rather than sitting on your rump waiting for a shipment that may never come, I reckon your time would be better spent looking for the stuff yourself. And it just so happens that I know of a good place to start. There is said to be a peddler in northern Thanalan who very occasionally handles the earth-aspected variety of Aether Sand, which is in the process of confirming the rumor as we speak. I know what you're thinking. When did my timid little friend decide he didn't need me to hold his hand anymore? Answer being, just the other day. Seems he's been inspired by a certain adventurer's heroic example. I thought he was joking when he volunteered to go to Thanalan without me. I just hope he managed to stay out of trouble. Head out to Blue Fog and you should find him poking about with his new bodyguard. Oh, did I not mention her? Aye, much thought it would be wise to hire an adventurer to accompany him, just in case your heroic example turned out to be less inspiring than you first thought. And so we will make our way to Blue Fog and speak with Wedge. Experienced adventurer. Save your greetings. If you're looking for a hired blade, then you'll have to look elsewhere. After the day I've had, the only company I crave is a squat, silent type. The type that has a handle and holds no less than a pint of ale. You wish to hear my tale? I warn you, 'tis no stirring epic, but as you asked, my employer, a Lollifin lad, wished to pay a visit to a peddler who deals in some manner of special sand. Forget what it was called, but 'tis apparently worth a small fortune. Anyway, when we arrived, the man claimed his stock had been stolen by bandits. Determined not to return empty-handed, he crept into the bandits' stronghold and set about locating the stolen goods. Long story short, alarms were raised, rogues were awoken, and we fled in a blind panic. I was separated from my employer in the confusion, and I've not seen him since. Oh, a friend of yours, is he? Then you'd best be prepared for the worst. 'Tis just possible the poor sod may yet be lost in the old Amagina Mithril mine, but I fear the bandits will have caught up with him by now. And thus, I guess we're on a rescue mission over that way for poor old Wedge. As you can see, there's a whole host of, and I should have paid attention where I was hopping down there. Well, the benefit of using a ninja is that I can do this. And hopefully they don't notice me. But anyway, we need to find Wedge. If I'm not mistaken, Wedge is right here. Wedge. How could I be so stupid? Sneaking into a bandit's lair. It's just not the sort of thing I do, and now I'm going to die for it. No, I just need to calm down. I can do this. I can be brave. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to walk out of here. Here we go. Yeah. Yuck! I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. I promise I'll leave and never come back. Hello. Celebrian? Is it really you? But how did you find me? Can you smell fear? Actually, ignore that smell. I expected you're wondering why I'm here. Well, I was just in the process of retrieving some stolen Aether Sand, which begs the need for a research. As it happens, it was, I concede, perhaps a touch foolish and very nearly fatal, but I did succeed in snatching this stuff before my bodyguard ran away and several dozen bandits came piling after me with knives and axes and what looked very much like a plank with a rusty nail in it. Anyway, the important thing is that the stolen Aether Sand is right here in my oh my. Oh dear. It must have fallen out when I was, taking evasive maneuvers. It seems I won't be leaving this infernal place for a while yet. You'll find the Aether Sand in my stead? Duh. Oh, thank the gods, you're true friends, Celebrian. I hope the search doesn't prove too troublesome. The bandits don't seem to care much for visitors. The Aether Sand must have slipped out of my pocket while I was busy evading the bandits. I'm sure it's somewhere around here. Probably. And now we need to find the Aether Sand, which is over here. Now otherwise you have to fight your way through all of these guys, but ninja power. Earth Cradled Aether Sand. Now fighting them wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing because that's experience for you for leveling up. But I can do that any old time. And now we need to return and speak with Wedge. Celebrine, have you any luck had any luck locating the Aether Sand? Earth Cradled Aether Sand. Though these grains of sand were refined from an earth cradle ore of incredibly rarity and hardness. Yes, that's it! I must return to the workshop at once and tell Biggs the wonderful news. What's that? You're also on a mission to collect Aether Sand? And you're working with the chief? Treasure trove of elegant knowledge, you say? I see. Then you should really be the one to have this. Biggs and I are far from exhausting our possible avenues of airship innovation, but it sounds as if your problem can't be solved by any other means. This expedition of yours sounds jolly interesting, I must say. I'm half inclined to join you. In fact, I think I will. Any venture worth the chief's time must be worth a look. Right, I'm more than ready to leave this awful place behind, and you should return to Mordona with that Aether Sand before there are any more, little mishaps. Be sure to keep a close eye on your pockets, Celebrine. And so we'll head to Mordona, and I will turn in this quest and probably pick up the next portion if I can. And then we'll leave it for this video. Ramboris. Ah, Celebrine, you have returned. I take it from your presence that you were successful in procuring us some Aether Sand. Tell me, which variety did you find? Fire-kissed Aether Sand. These grains of sand were refined from a fire-kissed ore of incredible rarity and hardness. And as I read a moment ago, the Earth one. I see. 2 varieties. Well, that is 2 more than could reasonably be expected, and 2 less than I had hoped you would say. Forgive me, flippancy. You have done well, truly. If all goes to plan, we need no longer fear death by fire or earth. Master Garland, if you would be so kind as to prepare the relevant crystals. I shall set to work immediately. Truth be told, I've been looking forward to this. One does not encounter materials like these every day. Speaking of which, how in the 7 hells did you find them? Mistake me not, old friend, I know only too well how capable you are. But Aether Sand isn't something you simply find gathering dust at the back of a merchant's rare gem cabinet. You had help with Biggs and Wedge? Huh. Trust them to design a revolutionary new engine the moment I turn my back. How's a genius meant to rest on his laurels when his employees are so darnably inventive, eh? And now they're determined to join us, are they? Typical. A jest, of course. It will be good to have them around. Still, as a matter of professional pride, let's endeavor to procure the 2 remaining varieties of Aether Sand before they arrive, shall we? Tell me, Rambros, have ye any information on where the water and the wind aspected types might be hiding? Not as of yet, but I have made certain arrangements. We shall soon see if my efforts have borne fruit. Forgive me for observing, but you seem less than enthusiastic about the prospect. If there's a complication, I'd rather we discuss it now than risk jeopardizing the expedition. Mayhap an explanation is in order, but first let us savor the preliminary victory that Celebrine has won for our cause, if only for a moment. And here we have the option of Heaven's Eye, Materia 4, Savage Aim, Materia 4, or Savage Bite, Materia 4, and I shall go with this one. And speaking with Rambros again. Rambros wishes to discuss the procurement of the outstanding varieties of Aether Sand. Yes, I must speak of the arrangements I made to acquire the 2 remaining varieties of Aether Sand. Some days ago I asked a Charlie, an acquaintance of mine, to travel to Gridania and there gather the necessary materials. Since that time, however, I have heard nary a whisper from him. To be frank, this lack of communication is not entirely uncharacteristic, but I cannot discount the possibility that something ill has befallen the man. Alas, we do not have time to investigate his fate. As I have mentioned before, the more we delay our expedition, the more likely it is that the Crystal Tower's secrets will fall into the wrong hands. Therefore, I would entrust you with the same mission I assigned to my friend. Travel to the Black Shroud and seek out Parsemontrate, the master of the markets in Tridonia. If anyone knows where the Aether Sand might be bought, it is he. And thus we will do that in the next video. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching.